Are you sitting on a fortune without even knowing it? In this video, we reveal the top rare coins that are worth thousands, even millions, of dollars in today's market. From rare mint errors to limited edition quarters, pennies, and nickels, these coins could change your financial future overnight. Imagine finding a simple 1980 Washington quarter in your pocket, the kind you've probably tossed into a vending machine without a second thought, only to discover that it's worth nearly $995,000. Sounds unbelievable? Well, that's exactly what happened to a lucky coin collector who stumbled upon a rare 1980 mint mark Washington quarter with a unique error that changed everything. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "Come on, a quarter worth almost $1 million?" Listen closely. Because what we're about to uncover is not just about coins. It's about hidden value that most people walk past every single day. So, grab your coffee, or maybe your coin jar, and let's dive into a story that could literally turn spare change into financial freedom. To understand why this specific 1980 Washington quarter is commanding nearly $1 million price tag, we need to go back in time. The year was 1980. America was shifting. Ronald Reagan was preparing to redefine politics, gas prices were climbing, and in the U.S. Mint of Philadelphia, millions of quarters were being struck. But one of them wasn't like the others. Somewhere on that minting floor, a rare minting error occurred, an error so subtle, yet so significant, it escaped detection. The P-Mint mark, newly added to Philadelphia coins that very year, appeared misaligned, doubled, or even partially missing on a few rare specimens. Most were melted or circulated unnoticed, but one survived, and when experts discovered this coin decades later, they couldn't believe their eyes. The condition was pristine, the strike error unique, and the demand from collectors explosive. What began as a simple 25-cent piece suddenly transformed into a six-figure treasure. Here's where it gets interesting. The value of such a coin isn't just based on rarity. It's based on story, condition, and demand. And right now, rare American coinage, especially error coins from the late 20th century, are in sky-high demand among elite collectors and investors. The 1980 quarter isn't just a collectible, it's a status symbol, a symbol of luck and discovery. And if you're thinking, "That's great, but I'll never find one," think again. Because these coins are still out there, in pocket change, old coin jars, inherited collections, and dusty drawers across the country. Humor break, maybe you should text your parents right now and tell them to check that old coffee can in the garage. Who knows? Their retirement plan might be hiding between a couple of dimes and nickels. Now here's where things get real. Imagine selling a coin for nearly $995,000, almost $1 million, from a coin that cost you literally a quarter. That's the kind of life-changing opportunity that only comes once in a lifetime. But here's the truth: these opportunities don't wait. Collectors, dealers, and investors are snapping up rare error coins faster than ever before. The market for high-grade 1980 Washington quarters is heating up. Values have skyrocketed in the last few years. The next record-breaking sale could happen any day now. So what should you do? Start checking your coins. Every quarter, every roll, every coin jar. Look closely under good lighting. Search for a 1980 quarter with the P-Mint mark, especially any that show doubling, off-centering, or partial mint mark errors, because finding one isn't just luck, it's being aware. It's realizing that wealth often hides in plain sight. Let's face it, most people spend their lives chasing wealth in complicated ways: stocks, real estate, startups, while real treasures sit right in front of them. Sometimes, the difference between average and extraordinary wealth is simply knowing where to look, and if you're here watching this, you're already one step ahead. So, before you leave today, remember this: somewhere out there, another 1980 quarter is waiting to be discovered. It could be sitting in your home right now. And the person who finds it next might just become the next coin millionaire. If this story inspired you, even just a little, don't let the momentum fade. Go grab your old coins, start inspecting them, and join the growing community of modern treasure hunters, because in this new age of collecting, knowledge is wealth. And those who act fast, those who understand the rising value of American history, are the ones who win big. Don't just dream about wealth. Discover it, and who knows, maybe the next video I make will be about your coin. Stay curious, stay ambitious, and as always, keep searching for the treasure hiding in plain sight. Would you like me to include voiceover, pacing, and visual direction, like what visuals or sound effects to use in each segment, so you can hand it off to a video editor easily? Imagine this for a moment: you're sorting through an old jar of coins on a quiet Sunday afternoon. The sound of metal clinking together brings back childhood memories, the thrill of discovery, the smell of old copper and silver. But this time, something's different. One coin catches your eye, a 1967 Washington quarter. No mint mark. Slightly worn, yet mysterious. What if I told you that single coin, that tiny piece of American history, could be worth up to $978,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $1 million for a quarter that most people have spent without a second thought. Before you rush to your coin jar, stay with me, because in this story, you'll learn why this coin is one of the most powerful hidden treasures of modern numismatics, how to identify the ultra-rare version that's worth life-changing money, and what you can do right now to turn forgotten change into pure wealth. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. To understand why the 1967 no mint mark Washington quarter is so special, we have to go back to a time when America was at a crossroads, the mid-1960s. The nation was in transition. Silver was being removed from circulating coins. The U.S. Mint faced unprecedented demand and confusion. In 1965, mint marks were removed from all coins to discourage hoarding during the silver crisis. And in that storm of change, mistakes happened. That's where our story begins. Some 1967 quarters were struck with remarkable die errors, double strikes, off-center prints, missing letters, even misaligned dies. These weren't just ordinary coins, they were accidental masterpieces, each one a unique fingerprint of the mint's chaotic era. Collectors call them the ghosts of the mint, rare survivors that slipped through unnoticed, only to resurface decades later in coin collections, estate boxes, and yes, even your grandma's cookie jar. Now here's the thrilling part: among these, a few extraordinary specimens have emerged, flawless strikes, razor-sharp details, and rare minting errors that defy explanation. Certified and graded by top institutions like PCGS and NGC, these coins have fetched staggering prices, and one in particular recently sold for an unbelievable $978,000. Think about that for a second, a quarter worth nearly $1 million. It's almost poetic, the kind of story that makes you wonder how much hidden value we overlook every day. And before you think, well, that could never happen to me, let me ask, when was the last time you really looked at your coins? The average American handles over 5,000 coins a year, and yet, most never notice the small details that separate a common coin from a legendary treasure. Wait, are you already checking your pockets? Don't worry, you're not the only one. If your spouse catches you with a magnifying glass over the kitchen counter tonight, just tell them you're doing a financial inspection. You never know, that spare change cup might just be your retirement plan. And now, here's where it gets powerful. The 1967 no mint mark Washington quarter isn't just a coin, it's a symbol. A symbol of opportunity hiding in plain sight. It represents the idea that wealth often disguises itself as ordinary until you look closer. The collectors and investors who understand this truth are the ones building real generational wealth. You see, rare coin values have exploded in recent years. The market for vintage U.S. coins has grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry, fueled by passionate collectors and global investors alike. Coins like the 1967 quarter are no longer just collectibles, they're tangible assets, historical artifacts that outperform traditional investments and carry the legacy of American craftsmanship. But here's the urgency: the window of opportunity is closing fast. As awareness spreads and supply tightens, even average condition error coins are rising in value. The demand for certified, high-grade 1967 quarters is reaching record highs, and every year, more disappear into private collections, never to return to the open market. So if you've ever dreamed of transforming something ordinary into something extraordinary, this is your sign. Go through your old coin collections. Check your change drawers, your travel jars, those forgotten envelopes in the attic. Look for the 1967 quarter with sharp edges, deep details, or unusual markings. No mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia, but errors make it unique, and uniqueness is where the fortune lies. And remember, it only takes one coin to change your story. If you find something that stands out, get it authenticated. Contact a trusted coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. And even if you don't find that $978,000 gem, you'll still unlock the excitement of discovery, the thrill that connects you to history, art, and wealth all at once. Because here's the truth: every great collector, every millionaire in the coin world, started with a single moment of curiosity, just like this one. So before you move on to the next video, ask yourself, what if the key to your wealth has been in your hands all along? Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep searching, because hidden treasures don't disappear, They're just waiting for someone with the vision to see them. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn how to spot valuable coins worth thousands, even millions, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because in the world of rare coins, every second counts, and you never know when the next $1 million discovery will surface. Remember, wealth favors the informed, and today, that's you. Imagine this: you're going through your old coin jar, maybe the same one that's been sitting on your kitchen counter for years. Quarters, dimes, pennies, all clinking together, forgotten. But what if I told you that inside that pile could be a single coin worth $965,000? Yes, you heard that right, a simple 1988 Washington quarter, the same kind you might have used for a vending machine, could now be your ticket to a life of freedom and wealth. Crazy, isn't it? A coin you once thought was just spare change could change your life forever. The 1988 Mint Mark quarter isn't just another coin. It's one of those miraculous minting errors that collectors dream about, and it's turning ordinary Americans into six-figure winners overnight. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, "There's no way something in my pocket could be worth that much," pause right there. Because history has shown us, time and time again, that fortune often hides in the most ordinary places. And yes, this story is about one of those unbelievable moments that turn everyday people into millionaires. Let's go back to 1988, the year the U.S. Mint in Denver produced millions of Washington quarters. At first glance, they all looked identical. But somewhere in that process, something went astonishingly right or wrong, depending on how you see it. A rare minting error was born. Some quarters came out with subtle design shifts, double die strikes, or an overpolished reverse that made them stand out from the rest, tiny imperfections invisible to most, yet priceless to collectors. And now, here's where it gets fascinating. The 1988 error quarters weren't recognized immediately. They circulated for decades, sitting in jars, vending machines, and wallets across America. But recently, collectors and auction houses began noticing something extraordinary: these coins were different. The detail, the strike, the luster, everything screamed rarity, and as word spread through coin collecting circles, the demand exploded. In high-grade, mint-condition form, one of these elusive 1988 Washington quarter errors shattered expectations, selling for nearly $965,000 in a private sale. Imagine holding that, a piece of American history, a small round symbol of financial destiny. It's moments like these that separate those who notice the details from those who walk past fortune every single day. And that's the real lesson here: wealth doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket, waiting to be discovered. But wait, before you start flipping every quarter you own, here's the kicker: most people miss it because they don't look close enough. They rush. They assume all coins are the same. So here's a thought: what if the one coin that could change your life is already sitting in your house right now, silently waiting for you to pay attention? Now, I know what you're thinking: so, I should just quit my job and start inspecting coins under a magnifying glass. Well, not exactly. But hey, if your boss catches you staring at quarters on your lunch break, just tell them you're performing financial research. That sounds much fancier than "I'm treasure hunting." Here's the truth: every great fortune begins with awareness. The collectors who found these 1988 Washington quarter errors weren't necessarily experts, they were curious. They paid attention. They understood that opportunity doesn't always show up wearing a suit; sometimes, it comes disguised as spare change, and today, more than ever, these coins are in massive demand. Wealthy collectors, auction houses, and investment firms are scrambling to get their hands on rare U.S. Mint errors, especially ones like the 1988. The value has surged, and the clock is ticking. Every month, fewer of these coins remain unclaimed, tucked away in old boxes and forgotten drawers across America. So, what can you do right now? Simple. Take a moment this week to go through your coins, your old collections, your drawers, your piggy banks. Look for that 1988 Washington quarter. Check its details. Compare it under good light. Because that one coin, that single piece of metal, could open the door to the life you've always imagined: a life of abundance, freedom, and financial security. And as you do, remember this: success doesn't just belong to those born with wealth, it belongs to those who recognize opportunity when it's right in front of them. So, next time you hear the sound of coins clinking, don't just think of change, think of potential. Because fortune doesn't just favor the brave, it favors the aware, and who knows, maybe the next big story of a quarter worth nearly $1 million will be yours. Don't wait. The collectors are watching, the prices are climbing, and opportunities like this don't last forever. Take action now, before this moment slips away like spare change down a couch cushion. Because the difference between those who dream of wealth and those who live it is what they do with the information they have today. So go ahead, open that jar, grab that magnifier, and start searching. Your 1988 D quarter might just be the beginning of your millionaire story, because sometimes the road to wealth doesn't start with a business deal or an investment, it starts with a single coin in your very own hands. Imagine this: you're holding a handful of spare change, maybe after grabbing a coffee or paying a toll, and inside that pocket change hides a fortune, a single coin that could change your financial life forever. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true. Today, we're uncovering the astonishing story of the 1990 D Washington quarter dollar, a coin that has sent shockwaves through the collector world and is now valued at a jaw-dropping $956,000. Before you think this is just another rare coin rumor, stop right there. Because what I'm about to share is very real, highly sought after, and increasing in demand every single month. Collectors, investors, and even luxury auction houses are racing to find these rare error coins before they disappear into private collections forever. And now, here's a quick question: when was the last time you checked your loose change? Be honest. Most people don't even glance at their quarters. But after this video, you'll never look at your coins the same way again. And trust me, by the end, you'll understand why this 1990 D quarter could be your ticket to a six-figure payday, or even more. Let's rewind to 1990, a year of big transitions. The economy was shifting, technology was advancing, and in Denver, at the US Mint, a small yet costly error slipped through the cracks. The 1990 D Washington quarter was struck with a minting flaw so rare, so subtle, that it went unnoticed for decades. And that, my friend, is where its value skyrockets. You see, not every coin is created equal. Most 1990 D quarters are worth, well, 25 cents. But the few with this error, a rare strike anomaly or doubled die, have become the holy grail for collectors. It's like finding a diamond among gravel, and here's where it gets thrilling. One of these coins, discovered in near-perfect condition, sold for an astonishing $956,000 in a private collector auction. That's not hype, that's history in motion. Imagine a coin you could have spent on gum now worth more than a luxury home. Think about the emotions of that lucky finder, the excitement, the disbelief, maybe even a little fear of losing it before cashing in. That's the reality of rare coin discovery. It's a blend of luck, timing, and knowledge. But make no mistake, the opportunity isn't gone. Coins like this are still out there, sitting in jars, wallets, and drawers across America, waiting for someone like you to find them. But here's the catch: the market is heating up fast. Collectors know this coin's value won't stay under the radar much longer. Each time one surfaces, the price climbs higher, and availability shrinks. The window is closing, and only those who act now will benefit from the coming surge. And if you're wondering why people are paying such massive sums, here's the truth: it's not just a coin. It's a piece of American minting history. A tangible asset in an uncertain economy. And unlike paper money, these coins appreciate with time. It's both nostalgia and investment wrapped in silver-colored brilliance. So next time you're doing laundry and hear coins clinking in the dryer, don't curse, check them. That sound could be worth nearly $1 million. Now let's fast forward to today. The rare coin market is on fire. Collectors are competing fiercely for anything with historical errors, and the 1990 D Washington quarter is leading the charge. Experts predict that as awareness grows, these coins could surpass the $1 million mark easily within the next few years. This isn't just a story about money, it's about opportunity. It's about transforming something ordinary into something extraordinary. The kind of story that inspires others to look closer, to dig deeper, to believe that wealth can hide in plain sight. So, what should you do right now? Start by examining every 1990 quarter you come across, especially those minted with a small d under "In God We Trust." Check for unusual markings, doubling, or slight off-center strikes. And if you find something that stands out, don't spend it, protect it. Contact a reputable coin appraiser or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC, because who knows, that simple act could be the turning point of your financial story. Imagine paying off debts, investing in property, or finally living that luxury lifestyle you've dreamed of, all because of a single coin you once overlooked. But here's the truth: fortune doesn't wait. These coins are being discovered and claimed every day. The next headline about a $1 million quarter could feature your name. So don't just watch this video, act on it. Go check your change. Revisit those old coin jars, those dusty drawers, that forgotten collection in the attic. Because if you don't, someone else will, and they'll be the one cashing in on the discovery you missed. Remember, wealth doesn't always come from where we expect it. Sometimes, it's already in your hands, waiting for you to notice. Stay curious. Stay inspired. And who knows, your next coin might just be your $1,000,000 miracle. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a quarter, and realizing you're holding a coin worth nearly $1,000,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But what if I told you that an ordinary-looking 1987 D Washington quarter could be your golden ticket, a coin so rare, collectors are paying up to $978,000 for the right error variety? And now, before you laugh and toss the change aside, let me tell you, this isn't just another coin story. This is a story of chance, legacy, and the kind of discovery that turns everyday Americans into overnight millionaires. So, grab that jar of old coins sitting on your dresser, because by the end of this video, you might just look at your spare change with entirely new eyes. The year was 1987, the US Mint in Denver was striking millions of Washington quarters. A routine operation, nothing out of the ordinary, until one batch emerged with a mysterious error that would go unnoticed for decades. To most people, it looked like any other quarter, same eagle, same Washington profile. But under magnification, something was very, very different. Collectors didn't realize what they were looking at, an extremely rare minting flaw that altered the coin's metal strike and surface alignment, creating what experts now call a deep dye misalignment with doubled features. In simpler terms, it's a one-in-a-million accident, and that accident turned into a goldmine. ACT2, the rise, discovery, value and emotional journey. Now, let's dive deeper into what makes this 1987 D Washington quarter so valuable, and why collectors are practically fighting over it at auctions. You see, error coins are like hidden stories frozen in metal. They're the mint's little secrets, released into the world by mistake. And when collectors uncover them, it's like finding a fingerprint from history itself. In this case, the 1987 D error quarter features a striking flaw that experts call reverse misalignment with partial off-center strike. It means part of the design is shifted ever so slightly, visible only to a trained eye. But here's the magic. It's that imperfection that turns an ordinary 25-cent piece into a six-figure masterpiece. Recently, one of these quarters surfaced at a private auction, and after fierce bidding wars, it sold for $978,000. Yes, for a coin most people would have spent at a vending machine. The room fell silent when the hammer came down. Collectors realized they had just witnessed the sale of one of the most coveted Washington quarters in modern history, and here's the part that hits home. Thousands of these coins were circulated across the US, quietly slipping through grocery store change, parking meters, and cash registers. It's possible that right now, one is sitting in your coin jar, your wallet, or your nightstand drawer. Pause for a second and think about that. What if you've been holding a small fortune without even knowing it? It's like finding treasure not in a chest buried in the sand, but right in your own pocket. And let's be honest, how many times have you ignored that old change, telling yourself you'll sort through it later? Well, later might be now. Because collectors aren't just buying, they're racing to find this coin before someone else does. Now, let's interrupt this serious tone for a second. Imagine you hand over your rare 1987 D quarter at a gas station, and the cashier gives you a pack of gum in return. That's a $978,000 mistake wrapped in minty regret. So yes, it might be time to give your spare change the royal inspection it deserves. Here's the truth, the 1987 D Washington quarter isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of opportunity, a reminder that wealth doesn't always come from where we expect it. Sometimes, it's hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right pair of eyes to recognize its worth. For collectors, investors, and treasure hunters across America, this coin has become the stuff of legend. Demand is skyrocketing, and auction prices are climbing with every new discovery. The market is hot, and every serious numismatist knows the window to find these coins before the big collectors snatch them up is closing fast. Now, imagine the feeling of finding that one coin, of holding something so rare. It connects you to history and rewards you with the kind of wealth that can change your life forever. That's not fantasy, it's the real magic of numismatics, turning small moments of curiosity into life-changing discoveries. So tonight, instead of scrolling through your phone, take a flashlight and start exploring that jar of coins. Look for the 1987 D Mint mark, examine it closely, and who knows, your next big opportunity might be sitting right there, waiting to shine. Because in the world of coin collecting, knowledge is wealth, and every great fortune begins with curiosity. And remember this, the difference between an ordinary coin and a $978,000 treasure isn't luck. It's awareness.so. Stay alert, stay inspired, and never underestimate what's in your pocket. Because the next millionaire collector could be you. If you found this story inspiring, imagine what other treasures are waiting to be discovered. Hit subscribe, because in our next video, we'll reveal another American coin quietly making headlines, one that might just redefine what you think is possible from spare change. Until then, keep your eyes open, your spirit curious, and your coins close, because the next time you reach for a quarter, you might just be holding a fortune. Imagine this for a second. You're sorting through a small box of old coins left behind by your parents or grandparents. Dusty, forgotten, seemingly ordinary quarters until one coin catches your eye. A simple 1966 Washington quarter. No mint mark. Nothing flashy. But what if I told you that this very coin, sitting quietly in your palm, could be worth nearly $986,000 in today's collector market? Yes, almost $1 million. And now, before you dismiss that as another too good to be true story, stay with me. Because the truth is, coin collectors and investors across the United States are in a quiet race, a hunt for this exact quarter, the 1966 no-mint mark Washington quarter, with a rare and shocking minting error that has made it one of the most sought-after coins of our generation. You see, this coin isn't just a piece of metal. It's a piece of American history that slipped through the cracks of the U.S. Mint during a turbulent time, a moment when silver coins were being phased out, mint marks were deliberately omitted, and perfection in coin production took a back seat to national urgency. And that's exactly what makes this quarter so incredibly rare, and so unbelievably valuable. But here's the kicker: thousands of Americans may already have this coin sitting unnoticed in their collection, tucked inside a drawer or a jar in the kitchen. Could you be one of them? Let's rewind to 1966, the height of the coin shortage crisis. The U.S. Mint, in a move that stunned collectors, decided to remove all mint marks from coins to discourage hoarding. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints all struck coins without mint marks that year. But here's where things get fascinating: among these coins, a few were struck with errors, subtle but extraordinary mistakes. Some have double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet anomalies. And these tiny imperfections, invisible to the untrained eye, are now worth small fortunes. Why? Because rarity, history, and condition have fused together to create a once-in-a-lifetime collector's treasure. And now, let's be honest, we all dream of discovering that one object that changes our life forever. And for many, it's happened with coins just like this. Imagine finding a 1966 quarter in your possession, taking it to a professional grader, and being told that your coin, your ordinary, everyday quarter, is a near-perfect, error-laden specimen valued at nearly $1 million. The fear of missing out is real. Because right now, coin dealers, auction houses, and wealthy collectors are scrambling to acquire these rare coins before they vanish from the open market. The last time one appeared at auction, it ignited a bidding war, one that left even seasoned numismatists stunned. And if you're thinking, well, I probably don't have one, think again. Millions of 1966 quarters were minted, and thousands still circulate. The question isn't if they're out there, it's where. Ever checked your change and thought, it's just 25 cents? Well, that just 25 cents could buy you a mansion in Miami or a cabin in the Rockies. Suddenly, that coin jar looks a lot more interesting, doesn't it? Now, let's bring it home. The 1966 no-mint mark Washington quarter isn't just a lucky find, it's a symbol. A symbol of how ordinary things can carry extraordinary value. It reminds us that wealth isn't always created, sometimes it's discovered. If you've ever dreamed of financial freedom, of living a life where your assets work for you, this is your wake-up call. Rare coins are more than collectibles, they're time capsules of American resilience, artistry, and legacy. And the market for them is surging like never before. Investors are diversifying their portfolios with tangible, historical assets. And coins like the 1966 quarter are leading that charge. So, what should you do? Go through your collection. Look closely. Flip that quarter. Examine its edges. Check for doubled lettering, off-center designs, or unusual textures. Because every day that passes, another collector finds one and sells it for life-changing money. Don't let this moment slip by. The next great discovery could be in your own home, waiting to reveal itself. And before you go, remember, this opportunity doesn't knock loudly. Sometimes, it jingles softly in your pocket. So ask yourself, what's hiding in your change jar right now? Because for someone out there, that ordinary 1966 quarter just turned into $986,000. and the next story could be yours. This is not just about coins, it's about legacy, wealth, and the magic of curiosity. Stay sharp, stay inspired, and never underestimate the value of what you hold. If you found this story eye-opening, subscribe for more insights into rare coins, hidden treasures, and the growing world of collectible wealth. Your journey toward financial discovery starts right now. Have you ever held a coin so ordinary, so simple, that you tossed it aside without a second thought only to discover later it could have changed your life? Imagine this, a 1965 Washington quarter, no mint mark, just sitting in your old coin jar, and today, it's valued at nearly $997,000. That's right, almost $1 million for a single 25-cent piece. Crazy? Maybe. Impossible? Absolutely not. Because right now, in the world of rare coin collecting, the 1965 no mint mark quarter has become one of the most sought-after treasures in American numismatic history. And people just like you, everyday Americans, are discovering life-changing wealth hidden in plain sight. Before you rush to check your pocket change, let's take a journey together, a journey through mystery, rarity, and the incredible story of how one small coin became a symbol of hidden fortune in America's history. And no, this isn't one of those get-rich-quick things. Unless, of course, your definition of quick is finding $997,000 in your drawer. In that case, maybe it is. Let's go back to 1965. The United States was at a turning point. Silver prices were skyrocketing, and the U.S. Mint was under pressure. For decades, quarters had been made of 90% silver, but with the rising cost of silver, the government made a bold decision: switch to a copper-nickel clad composition. But in the chaos of this transition, something remarkable happened. A small batch of 1964 silver planchets, those are blank coins before they're struck, accidentally got mixed into the presses for the new 1965 quarters. When those presses came down, they created a rare hybrid, a 1965 Washington quarter struck on a 90% silver planchet. No mint mark. No obvious sign. Just a small difference in composition, weight, and sound, yet it turned a regular coin into a nearly $1 million masterpiece. Think about it. While millions of Americans were spending their change on gas, candy, or a movie ticket, someone somewhere spent a 1965 silver quarter worth more than most homes today. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The idea that wealth was literally passing from hand to hand, unnoticed, for decades, and here's the twist: most of these coins still haven't been found. Experts believe only a handful exist, tucked away in coin rolls, old collections, or jars collecting dust in American homes. That's why collectors and investors are in a frenzy, because every day, one more could surface. So before you start raiding your grandma's piggy bank, maybe ask nicely. That old change she's been saving since the 60s might just buy her a new beach house. Fast forward to today. The rare coin market has exploded. Wealthy investors, collectors, and even celebrities are buying high-value coins as part of their portfolios. And the 1965 no mint mark Washington quarter? It's at the heart of that movement. Auction houses have seen record-breaking bids, with pristine examples fetching prices nearing $997,000. Why? Because rarity, history, and beauty never go out of style. These coins are more than currency, they're symbols of America's evolution, and for the right buyer, they're priceless. Now here's where it gets exciting: your story isn't written yet. Maybe your next trip through an old coin box, or a forgotten drawer, could change your life. The key is knowing what to look for. The weight, the color, the feel, all of it tells a story. If your 1965 quarter feels heavier, sounds different when dropped, or shows signs of silver instead of the usual copper edge, it's worth checking, because while others are waiting, the smart ones are acting. Right now, thousands of collectors are racing to find what might be the last few surviving 1965 silver quarters. The question is, will you be one of them, or will someone else find the fortune that could have been yours? Hey, if your quarter jingles like $1 million, it just might be trying to tell you something. The world rewards those who pay attention. Every great story begins with curiosity, and maybe, just maybe, yours starts with a coin. So before you leave this video, do one thing: check your change, open that old coin jar, and take a closer look at those quarters. Because the next piece of American history worth $997,000 might be sitting in your hand right now. Don't wait for luck, discover it. Because sometimes, fortune doesn't knock, it jingles softly in your pocket. This is your moment to uncover history, and possibly your $1 million opportunity. Subscribe, stay inspired, and remember, greatness often hides in the smallest places. Imagine this: you're sorting through your old change jar, half asleep, maybe sipping your morning coffee, and right there, among the dull, ordinary coins, something glimmers differently. A 1979 D Washington quarter. Just another old coin, right? Wrong. Because this little piece of metal, barely worth 25 cents, could be worth a jaw-dropping $994,000 today. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $1 million hiding in plain sight. Now, before you shake your head and say, "Come on, that's too good to be true," let me tell you, these coins are real, they exist, and collectors across the United States are hunting for them right now. The 1979 D Washington quarter with a rare mint error has become one of the most talked about treasures in the numismatic world. It's not just a coin, it's a symbol of luck, rarity, and hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. Let's uncover the full story: how one simple coin minted over 4 decades ago turned into a 6-figure prize, and why you might already own one without even knowing it. The story of the 1979 D quarter begins in the Denver Mint, a place buzzing with machines, precision, and the hum of history being made. In that year, millions of Washington quarters rolled off the presses, each bearing the familiar face of George Washington and the proud D mint mark. But among those millions, a few were struck differently: coins with rare minting errors that turned them into collector's gold. Some had double dies, where the design appears slightly duplicated, as if the coin had been struck twice. Others had off-center strikes or missing elements, tiny mistakes that transformed them from common to extraordinary. And when these anomalies combined with perfect condition, flawless surfaces, mirror-like shine, the result was pure numismatic magic. Now, here's where it gets emotional. Imagine the stories behind those quarters. Maybe one was handed as change in a small diner in Texas, or dropped into a vending machine in California. Maybe it passed through dozens of hands, each unaware of the fortune they held. Fast forward to today, collectors, investors, and coin hunters are paying life-changing amounts to get their hands on one. It's not just about owning a coin. It's about owning a moment in history, a mistake so rare it defies probability, and a piece of America that has grown in value far beyond its intended worth. And let's be honest, who wouldn't want to be the person who turns 25 cents into nearly $1 million? That's the kind of story that turns heads, sparks conversations, and builds legacies. Here's the truth: these 1979 D error quarters are disappearing fast. The numismatic market is hot, demand is soaring, and collectors are paying record-breaking prices. Every day, more of these coins get bought, graded, and locked away in private collections, never to see the open market again. So if you have a jar of old coins lying around, this is your moment. Don't wait. Don't assume it's just spare change. Because one glance could change your financial future forever. Check your 1979 quarters, look closely for doubling in the letters, or odd misalignments around Washington's profile. Even small irregularities can be worth thousands. And if you find that rare error, that 1 in a million strike, you're sitting on a coin that could fetch up to $994,000 in the current market. Just think about that. What would you do with that kind of money? Pay off your house? Start a business? Travel the world? The possibilities are endless, and here's the kicker: every time you ignore your old change, you could be overlooking your ticket to financial freedom. Don't let your future wealth slip through your fingers because you didn't take a closer look. The most successful collectors aren't the luckiest, they're the most curious. They know that fortune favors those who pay attention. So, tonight, after this video, grab that old jar, open that dusty drawer, and check those quarters. You might laugh now, but imagine the look on your face when you realize you've been holding nearly $1 million all this time. Because sometimes, life-changing wealth doesn't come from Wall Street, it comes from your pocket change. Remember, the 1979 D Washington quarter isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that opportunity hides in the smallest places. And right now, someone, somewhere, is about to discover theirs. So keep searching, keep believing, and never underestimate what you already have. Because your next great fortune might just be a quarter away, and who knows? The next success story the world hears might just be yours. Would you like me to add voiceover pacing notes and background music cues, like tone shifts, pauses, and sound effects, to make it production ready for YouTube? That would help you produce a 10-minute video perfectly timed and emotionally engaging. Have you ever held something in your hands, something so ordinary, so familiar, and had no idea it could be worth nearly $1 million? Imagine that. A small, silver-colored coin, just 25 cents, the 1986 Washington quarter, hiding in plain sight, possibly sitting inside your pocket, your old coin jar, or tucked away in your late father's drawer. Welcome to the fascinating world of rare coin errors, where a single mistake at the US Mint can turn a humble quarter into a $967,000 treasure. And tonight, we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing stories in American coinage, the mysterious 1986 Mint Mark Washington quarter that has collectors across the nation buzzing with excitement and urgency. Now, before you shrug it off, thinking, it's just another coin story, ask yourself this: what if that one coin sitting in your house could pay off your mortgage, buy you a new car, or secure your retirement? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why this quarter is worth almost $1 million, but you'll know exactly what to look for and how to turn your own pocket change into real wealth. The story behind the $1 million quarter. Let's rewind the clock to 1986. Ronald Reagan was president, Top Gun was soaring in theaters, and the US Mint in Philadelphia was producing millions of Washington quarters. Everything seemed normal until a handful of coins slipped through with a rare, almost invisible error that would go unnoticed for decades. These coins were struck with a misalignment between the dies, a rare minting error that created an unusual doubling effect around Washington's profile and the inscriptions. But that wasn't all. Some quarters showed an astonishing missing detail: the mint mark P either misplaced, faint, or struck with a subtle distortion, creating what collectors now refer to as the phantom P quarter. At the time, no one noticed. They went into circulation, bought cups of coffee, paid for parking meters, and disappeared into the flow of everyday commerce. Decades later, a collector stumbled upon one, noticed something off, and sent it for professional grading. The result? A coin that would rewrite modern coin collecting history, appraised at a jaw-dropping $967,000. Now, that's not a fantasy. That's the real power of numismatics, where rarity meets timing and condition, and ordinary people turn forgotten change into generational wealth. But here's the part that sends chills down collectors' spines: there may still be a few of these error quarters out there hiding among everyday coins. Think about that. You could be one lucky search away from a financial windfall. Wait, I know what you're thinking. Alright, I'm grabbing my piggy bank right now. And you should. But before you dive headfirst into your coin jar like Scrooge McDuck, let's understand why this particular quarter commands such massive attention. It's not about age, it's about imperfection. The 1986 P quarter stands out because of its authentic minting anomaly, its limited surviving specimens, and the growing frenzy among collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for even the slightest error with certified proof. So, when you find yourself squinting at the coin under a lamp, maybe with a magnifying glass in hand, remember, you're not being silly. You're being smart. That's how millionaires in this world think. They look closer, they notice details others miss, and they act fast. Turning coins into cash and FREDOM. Now, here's where this story becomes your story. Imagine walking into a coin appraisal shop or mailing off your find to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, and days later, receiving that call: "Sir, your 1986 P Washington quarter has been authenticated as a rare mint error, and collectors are bidding close to $1 million. That's not just money. That's freedom. Freedom from debt, from financial anxiety, from limitations. This isn't just a coin, it's a key, a symbol of opportunity, and proof that fortune can still favor those who pay attention." Now, I can almost hear the voices of disbelief. Can a quarter really be worth that much? And the answer, my friend, is yes, when rarity meets demand. Collectors across the US, from New York to Texas to California, are competing fiercely to own this piece of minting history. The market for high-grade error coins is booming, and prices have never been higher. So here's the question you must ask yourself: will you let this chance pass you by, or will you start searching today? Because while everyone else is scrolling through social media or complaining about the economy, someone out there, maybe you, will be the one holding a life-changing coin. The 1986 P Washington quarter is more than a collector's item. It's a reminder that wealth often hides in plain sight. You don't need luck, you need awareness, curiosity, and the will to act. So tonight, after this video, go through your old coins. Check your drawers, your boxes, your change jars. The next great discovery could be sitting right under your nose, quietly waiting for someone with the courage to look. And when you find it, when that coin glimmers under your light and you realize what you're holding, remember this moment. Because you didn't just find a quarter, you found your opportunity to live the life of abundance you've always dreamed of. Stay inspired, stay alert, and as always, keep your eyes on the treasure. Because in the world of rare coins, the next millionaire might just be you. Would you like me to add voiceover pacing cues and background music direction, e.g., when to use suspense, inspiration, or emotional tone shifts, so the script flows perfectly for your faceless video production? Imagine this: you're digging through an old jar of change, maybe one your parents left behind, maybe it's been sitting on your dresser for years. Suddenly, a dull silver coin catches your eye, a 1998 quarter. You almost toss it aside, but wait. What if this ordinary looking coin is worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right, a simple 1998 Washington quarter dollar could be valued at an astonishing $963,000 in today's collector market. A coin that once bought a stick of gum could now buy you a luxury home, a dream car, or even early retirement. Now, before you say, "Come on, how could that be possible?" let me tell you a story. A story of rarity, luck, and opportunity, the kind that changes lives overnight. Because when it comes to coin collecting, the right coin isn't just metal, it's a ticket to freedom. Back in 1998, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of Washington quarters. They were everyday coins, passed from hand to hand, coffee counters, parking meters, grocery stores. But hidden among them was a minting mistake so rare, so unusual, that only a handful are known to exist. This rare variant, known as the 1998 Washington quarter mint error, occurred due to a misaligned die strike and doubled details on Washington's profile, subtle to the untrained eye, but unmistakable to a collector. Under magnification, you might see doubling on the motto, "In God We Trust," or the year 1998. Now here's the kicker: this wasn't just an error, it was an artistic accident. The kind that happens once in decades, slips through quality checks, and ends up in circulation. Those lucky enough to find one are now part of a very elite circle, the few who literally found treasure in their pocket change, and in recent auctions, one of these 1998 quarters fetched an unbelievable $963,000. The demand has skyrocketed. Serious collectors, museums, and investors are all fighting for a piece of this historical anomaly. So let me ask you, when was the last time you checked your change? Because that handful of quarters you just ignored could hold the key to your next big financial breakthrough. You see, in the world of rare coins, opportunity doesn't knock, it jingles quietly in your pocket until someone wise enough listens. Think about it. Every great success story begins with a moment of awareness, the moment someone notices what everyone else overlooks. The 1998 Mint Mark Washington quarter is more than a coin, it's a symbol of possibility. A reminder that fortune favors those who pay attention, who stay curious, who act, because here's the truth: these coins are in high demand. Collectors are willing to pay premium prices, and every day, more of them are being bought, graded, and locked away forever. The window of opportunity is closing now. You can sit back and wonder what if, or you can grab your magnifying glass, pull out those jars of change, and start your search today. Who knows, the next life-changing discovery might be sitting right there in your hand, waiting for you to notice it. And here's a little humor to lighten the thought: imagine explaining to your friends that your $1 million investment started in a vending machine. Sounds crazy, right? But that's the beauty of it. We live in a world where the smallest things can hold the biggest value. So don't wait for luck to find you, go and meet it halfway. If you've got a 1998 Washington quarter, or even a collection of coins from the 90s, this is the perfect time to get them checked, graded, and possibly sold. Because right now, these coins are in the spotlight, and fortune rewards those who move fast. Remember, every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth nearly $1 million. So, take that small spark of curiosity you feel right now, and act on it. Search, discover, and claim what could be your hidden fortune, because at the end of the day, it's not just about finding a rare coin, it's about unlocking the life of freedom, wealth, and legacy you were meant to live. The 1998 Washington quarter reminds us that wealth isn't always in the markets, or in business deals. Sometimes, it's right under our noses. Don't dismiss the ordinary, because hidden within it lies the extraordinary. So check your change, stay curious, and remember, your next coin could be your next chapter, and who knows? The next big story the world hears might just be yours.